skies are clear. It's going to be another cool night at the ballpark. Braves and Nats, game 2. Hey, this is a big leagues. We pay here. Now you can do whatever you want. So the Nats jumping, waiting for this one to take on the Braves. Hey, why not? Steven Strasburg's going tonight. Max was unbelievable last night, and it's not often you get to just go ace and ace back-to-back nights.
Yeah, I mean, tough going for the Braves, obviously, but let's relive last night. I mean, it was such a great night at the ballpark, a great time to watch Max do his thing. When you talk about what he did last night, 10 strikeout performance, that's a 66 game in which he struck out 10 plus. But all the stats aside, we love talking about Max's stats because they're awesome. It was the intangibles for me last night. The fact that he was ready to play baseball, whether he was hitting, whether he was running the bases. And as a true ace, he said, this stops right here, I got this. The first stolen base of his career, the first stolen base by a pitcher in Nats history, and then he went the distance, striking out Ender Inciarte. He faced 28 batters last night, no runner past first base. It was fun to watch. We were all jacked up. The crowd was into it. And now you get to face Steven Strasburg tonight if you're the Braves. So
yeah,
don't get any easier.
Nolan Ryan in 1984 with the Astros, 10 strikeouts, couple of hits, and he stole a base. So the guy does everything. Steven Strasburg makes his 100th start at Nats Park. For those of us who've been around since that first one back in 2010, it's a milestone, and he's got a really good winning percentage here.
Yeah, hard to believe, and he'll be out there trying to build on his performance last time. Decent start last time for Steven. Great start, his first start against Cincinnati, but the Braves will be ready. Look for him to be swinging early, and check it out, the first time ever in the Script Nationals jersey here tonight. I love the jerseys. They're awesome.
Very, very cool. 41 and 23, 289 the ERA in this ballpark. Strasburg takes on the Braves in just a few moments. PNC Bank. There's no better time to act than today. PNC, make today the day. And by University of Maryland, University College. Yeah, Steven's had some great career moments here. A couple of complete game shutouts of the Phillies. AARP with our take on today, player profile. So start number 100, and we will never forget the first one when he struck out 14 Pirates and over 10.5 strikeouts per 9 innings at home since that rookie year. And from guys who pitch at least 500 innings, that's the best of any of them. They say it's 52 degrees tonight. We got a bit of a breeze coming from the northwest this evening. So that's kind of a cross breeze, just a bit from the left field corner toward the right side. And here come the Braves. Nick Markakis is on a 6-game hitting streak, 9 for 24. He's one of the quick starters in baseball. Freddie Freeman, second in the league with runners in scoring position. And they've got, the Braves do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 of the top 5 hitters in the National League right now. In Strasburg, 10-9 career against Atlanta.
Yeah, 3-time All-Star takes the mound, 28th time facing the Braves in his career. He struck out at least 10 Braves in 3 of his 4 starts against them last year. So all in all, 4 starts against the Braves in 2017, 31 strikeouts, 6 walks. Here we go, play ball.
7:06, and the fastball crackles in. So Strasburg, 27 starts against the Braves. Inciarte, 209 after an 0 for last night. And he was Max Scherzer's final strikeout victim on the last out of the game at 9:28 p.m. last night. 2 hours and 22 minutes. Going right after him on 0-2 and a fly ball to Taylor.
I said the defense tonight behind Steven. Here it is. Goodwin, Taylor, Harper, the outfield. Rendon, Zimmerman at the corners. Turner, Defoe, turning double plays, and Pedro Severino behind the plate. What do you think of the new tops, folks? I like them a lot. Dark blue, almost a navy blue with script Nationals on the front. First time they've ever had the Nationals on the front of the jersey. Usually it's Washington on the road and just the curly W at home. Love it.
Here's Ozzie Albies, who started the season. Did it hit him? That was close. Started the season 2 for 20, and now he's 8 for his last 24. When guys come up for the first time tonight, you're going to see a lot of graphics that say 0 for from last night. That ball hit hard to right. Bryce Harper tracking it. Can't quite get there. Hits the top of the wall. Albies screaming into second. He's heading for third. Now he stops. And had someone been on the second base bag, they would have had a chance to get him, but he decided to go back with 1 out.
Well, as an outfielder, when you're going out for the cutoff, you're peeking over your shoulder, but the trail guy will let you know where to go, and I'm sure the last thing Wilmer Defoe heard was 3-3-3.
Yeah.
You're thinking automatic double here, Albies can fly. You see him peek right there? Now Trey Turner's in his ear saying 3-3-3. Nobody turned their head to see him stop, because it's just not what you do as an infielder. Bryce Harper gave it a go just over his glove. But Wilmer looked and turned and saw that Albies was going to third. He did the right thing. He just hit the brakes.
Into right field goes Defoe on Freddie Freeman. So here's the situation. Early ball game. Freeman, 375 career against Strasburg. First base open. Another lefty on deck, and Nick Markakis. So Freddie had a rare 0 for against the Nats last night.
Yeah, lefty's hitting 333 in this against Steven this season early on. Righty's 158.
First inning mound visit. Brian Onora has the plate. He's marking down that mound visit. 27th year in the big leagues. Chad Whitson at first. The crew chief Field Culbreth. Second base, and C.B. Buckner at third.
Freddie was making fun of him. Did you see that?
Now Albies makes a break to third, and he's out. So he was determined to get to third somehow. Strasburg calm enough to step off, made the high throw, and Rendon took care of the rest.
But check it out. Look at him just taking off right there. Everyone's saying step off. That's what you do as an infielder. And it's up to the pitcher not to panic, and Steven didn't. Weird slide by Albies. Looked like he broke his belt, number 1. The helmet came off, number 2. And he's out, number 3. Are they checking it? He's still standing on third. I think they're going to go to New York here early. It looked like Rendon got him on the ribs, maybe. See the belt break, high throw from Steven. Did his hand get in there? I can't tell in that angle. This should show it, right? I can't tell if that pinky finger of the right hand was on the back of the base, and is there enough to overturn it, or did he hit Anthony's leg on Steven's throw? Yeah, I can't tell where that right hand is. Can you?
Hard to tell. Strasburg's going to throw a couple of warm-up tosses here. Or should I say, stay warm-up tosses. And because the call was out, it's got to be conclusive in favor of the Braves to overturn this. And that's a big 90 feet if he's ruled safe, because Freddie Freeman would only need to hit a fly ball at least to put the Braves on top.
So there's 12 cameras here at the ballpark. We have 6. The Braves broadcast has 6. And they're not necessarily all in the same place, so you can get a different look from a different broadcast, and sometimes that's why you're shaking your head at home going, wait.
He looked out on that angle.
Yeah.
Taking a while.
Yeah, New York gets 12 camera feeds in Chelsea to review that, and this is taking way too long. Sorry.
CB Buckner made the call. Crew chief Field and Culbreth.
I mean, we're all
coming over from second base.
We're all caffeinated, ready to go. And we're standing around. This stinks, and I guess they want to make sure.
Enough to overturn? No, he's out. 1-5 on the caught stealing. So we've had a mound visit and a challenge already. And Freddie Freeman, with the bases empty, will have a count of 1-0. .96 on the heater and a big lefty a little late.
Tell you what, that first strikeout of Freddie Freeman last night that Max executed was perfect. He went strike one under his hands with the fastball, showed him one up around his eyes with 2 strikes, then dropped the changeup in on him that he couldn't pull the trigger on because he was thinking about that fastball in.
In there, 3-2.
I vote for the turbo change right here, and if he swings at it, he swings at it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We'll see what they decide to do. He got strike 2, sneaking the heater in there. See if he just throws the heck out of a changeup right here.
Man, went with the big curveball. Strasburg, one of the few guys who can throw a curve mid-80s. And he misses way upstairs. Braves have a base runner with 2 outs. Freddie Freeman walks for the 14th time, 2 fewer than Bryce Harper, who has the most in the league, obviously. Markakis is next, and he's riding a 6-game hitting streak.
This is where I'm sure Dave Martinez will go the calling card throwover just to let Freddie Freeman know they're thinking about him. To prevent the ambush steal with 2 outs.
Everybody has the green light after Max last night.
Yeah. I talked to him about that today before the game.
And a ball drilled to center, but the Nats have a guy there. Michael A. puts away his 2nd of the inning. So a Bryce Harper fan picking out some headgear for a cold night. Looking good. Goodwin, Turner, Harper, straight ahead.
Oh yeah, dig yourself.
Foltynewicz, he thought he had the night off with those good numbers, but he's going to lead off because Adam Eaton got scratched. A bone in his left ankle bugging him. Anthony Rendon bumped up to the number 4 spot, and look at what Anthony's doing at home. He leads all major league hitters with a .500 average in his own ballpark, 7 for 14 on this first home stand. So Ryan Zimmerman 5th, and here's Mike Foltynewicz, who beat the Nats last week with his bat and his arm. 3-2 career against Washington.
Yeah, last start he beat Max 7-1, 5 1/3, gave up 1 run on 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, a couple of walks, 95 pitches in that one. Fastball averaging 96 on the season. He's averaging 13.06 strikeouts per 9 innings on the young season. That's 4th amongst major league starters.
In there again, 2-2. So Goodwin 5 out of 18 overall. 2 home runs, 3 batted in against Foltynewicz in that 5 for 8, and that was close. Ball 3.
If you went to Winterfest this year, you saw the Nats with these jerseys on. That's where they unveiled them.
Leadoff walk. Nationals were given 7 walks last night.
No defense for that, but we'll show you it anyways. Tucker and Ciarte Markakis the outfield. Flaherty, Freeman at the corners. Swanson and Albies turning double plays tonight. And Carlos Perez, the catcher, not the pitcher, who dances after every strike behind the plate.
So the speed merchants, Eaton and Turner, were going to be back-to-back tonight. Now it's the speed merchants, Goodwin and Turner. Brian's 2 for 3 stealing. Trey's been on base 9 of his 10 games to start the season, and a real nice rip at that. So not a lot of base hits, 8 for 37, but Trey has walked 9 times. And believe it or not, he's 4th in the league in bases on balls. Didn't look like he stopped, and Chad Whitson said he did.
He was walking back to the dugout. He thought he was going to get rung up. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He check swung on a fastball away and admitted guilt, and then the jury found him innocent.
So it's 2-2. A couple of little things early going the Nats' way here tonight. Turner stays on the breaking ball. I don't know. Is there any place to bat in the major leagues right now better than the number 2 spot for the Washington Nationals?
I'd say 4.
Because Bryce is getting walked so much?
Yeah, I mean, if you're locked in, and Ryan will be soon, not hitting there tonight. Anthony Rendon hitting 4th. Dave Martinez dropping Ryan to the 5th spot to protect Bryce, maybe get Rendon in there. But
yeah.
I mean, I've said this a million times. You've heard it before. I saw Jeff Kent win an MVP hitting behind Barry Bonds for that reason.
Low throw, that made it close.
It looked like Freddie got his glove stuck in the dirt, or it might have been even closer, dragging it across.
2-2 to Turner. Can't reach the high heater. 98 from Foltynewicz. His 16th strikeout against 3 walks. Inside the Numbers presented by PNC. Versus the Braves last year and now into this year. So 5 homers, 17 RBIs, an RBI per game. On base percentage just under 500. OPS approaching 1.2. By the way, Bryce is first in the league now after his walks last night with a 553 on base percentage. Against Foltynewicz career, 3 for 11, a solo homer, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. In standing up, and that was close.
You know, you talked about it last night. You're getting walked a lot. In your mind, you know they're trying to pitch around you, but it's still got to be fine focus on every pitch, and it's yes, 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 no. I mean, you're waiting to hit. You're yes, yes, yes. Here it is right down the middle, then no. You can't be surprised by a strike, even though that was borderline right there. You don't want to hit that yet. So easy to say up here. It's harder to do down there, and I would never know what that's like. You know, you see so many balls in a row, and then all of a sudden there's a strike. You still have to be ready to pounce.
Nats have been quick out of the gate in their game so far this year. That's a drive to center. Goodwin's going to take a look, but Inciarte charges it, and Bryce Harper continues his great hitting. He's 11 for his first 30.
I'm going to show you the sequence. Mike Foltynewicz to Bryce Harper. What's he going to do to him tonight? First pitch changeup, it looked like, away. Then he goes heater on the black. Then feeling frisky, goes fastball up, and Bryce goes 108-mile-an-hour knock.
Whoa.
Right back up the middle. There goes the no-hitter, 108 miles an hour.
We almost had a crew chief review on that line drive. Field and Colbreth getting out of the way, fortunately.
He's talking to him right now. You see that? They're laughing at each other. It's almost a life review.
So here's Anthony Rendon. He's had a great homestand. He's hit safely 9 of his 10 games this year. Another 2 for last night. And 3 for 13 with a homer. 3 batted in against this right-hander. So the Nats have already scored 16 first inning runs. Nobody else has been that quick out of the chute. So that's 16 of their 47 total runs. That slider was hanging up a bit. Mets have an early run at Miami. Braves are 2.5 back. And the Nats, with last night's win, 3.5 back in New York. And the 1-2 popped up right side for Freeman. So the Mets are 8-1, having won 6 in a row. Phillies a half game back of the Nats, and Miami 3-7. Had a chance to chat with Brian Snitker during BP today, and he's very excited, not getting overwhelmed by his team's good start. They lead the league in runs.
He's a good baseball man. He doesn't get enough credit for how he runs a game.
You know what? And I'm glad the Braves promoted from within. That's a guy who's been coaching forever, managing in the minor leagues. You always love to see organization guys rewarded like the Braves did with him.
I mean, he's always got a lefty up for a lefty. He runs a good game. He doesn't get enough credit for doing a great job. And I was thinking that in Atlanta. I meant to say something on the air and forgot. And maybe that's kind of Brian Snitker in a nutshell. He's not a guy that you think about as one of the better managers in baseball, but he does a really, really nice job.
Zimmerman locked up, couldn't stop. 1-1.
You remember last night from the Braves, everything away to Ryan all night. Maybe one fastball in to stand them up, but it was just slider, 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 and fastball away. Hit a ball hard to right field. Might have been a home run in June or July when it's warmer.
Yeah, he squared up a couple of balls against the Mets Sunday night pinch hitting appearance, and then that drive to right in the third inning last night. 28 home runs, 115 career driven in against the Atlanta Ball Club. And a nice rip there.
I'm going to keep an eye on Fultonavich's velocity because he's letting it rip early. If he can stay at 97, 98, it's going to be some tough at-bats. But in my mind right now, watching him, he might like a boxer punching himself out in the first round. He's going max effort here.
Good take by Ryan. So that'll get the runners moving with 2 outs. It's also going to get Fultonevich to at least 26 pitches. Twice Strasburg's total in the first inning. Zimmerman out to center. Ball's behind Ender Inciarte. Goodwin scores. Harper coming home. Zimmerman to third. And that was a loud noise by Ryan Zimmerman's bat. And on their 17th and 18th first inning runs of the year, it's 2-0.
I know Ryan was thinking it because I was thinking it up here. If he catches this ball, you need to change something up. You know, maybe the whole live rooster thing, I don't know, because he's hit some balls hard. And I thought Inciarte's tracking this. He's going to rob Ryan again. And that's the way you think when they're not falling, but maybe this changes everything. The ball gets past a Gold Glove center fielder. Ryan with the triple, and he was thinking about more right here, looking over his shoulder as he kind of rounds third base. Great swing, 2-0. And thank you, Lord, for one finally dropping. That's a great shot.
Ryan Zimmerman's 21st career triple. Now the Braves have a mound visit.
2 was enough last night. We'll see what happens tonight.
He smoked that baby. 4 out of 9 career now against Fultonevich. And here's Michael A.
I'll tell you what, the way Fultonevich falls off the mound, if Michael A drops a bunt to third, the pitcher's not getting it. Look at how he falls. Sometimes it's a good play with 2 outs.
And Flaherty beyond the baseline between second and third.
Creeping in.
That was Ryan's second extra base hit. RBI total went from 3 to 5 on that swing.
Tell you what, they were on the ESPN Sunday night broadcast asking the players their favorite musicians. So the question was your favorite artist. And they asked a bunch and they saved Ryan for last, and he said Van Gogh and just started cracking up. Just his sense of humor, right?
Funniest guy on the team, I think. Taylor, chopper left side, charging Flaherty. Big first inning for the Nats. And they make the opposing starter throw nearly 30 pitches. Zimmerman drives in 2.
for the time being, let's watch Max Scherzer, baseball player. There's the base hit. Watch him, he's thinking about two. He slams on the brakes. You know why? He's been talking to his skipper about stealing a base. He looked in the dugout, and Dave Martinez kind of shrugged his shoulders like, if you want to go, go. And there's his first ever stolen base, and the first one by an Nats pitcher. I talked to Max today before the game. I said, you know what fired me up the most of everything he did last night? He said, what? I said, reading the line drive to short and not getting doubled up, going back on a line drive. His answer was, he said, I used to tell J-Dub that all the time, that you don't freeze on a line drive, you go back on a line drive, because if you freeze on it, it's too late and you're doubled up. So it's a good lesson for all you kids from Max Scherzer. Back on a line drive, don't freeze on it.
Ball hit hard to left. Goodwin to his right. Preston Tucker swinging a good bat. Pretty cool reaction from the clubhouse afterwards. Davey Martinez and his ace.
You asked him what he said when you handed him the base. He said, here's some more hardware for you, Max. Your first stolen base. I'll tell you what, Max cherishes that. That's a big deal for him. He considers himself more than just a pitcher, all-around baseball player, and that's good stuff right there. Love it.
Yeah, Scherzer, ball player. Here's Dansby Swanson. He's off to a good start, and Strasburg fastball in there. Things are happening quickly against Steven. 13 pitches, 8 strikes first inning. They got Tucker in a hurry, and he's ahead of the number 6 hitter. Rendon just beyond even with the bag at third.
I asked Davey whose idea was that with the base, and he said, mine. After the game, I said, grab second base. I'm going to give it to Max. That's how that guy thinks. I don't know that a lot of managers would even thought of that.
And I bet that'll be proudly displayed next to some Cy Youngs and other things that Max Scherzer has gathered in over the years. That's cool.
We're lucky we get to see him every 5 days. I said it last night. I'll say it 4 days from now. You're watching one of the great ones.
2-1 to Swanson.
Jansby's been working on that right field stroke. Let's see if he forgets about it here in a 3-1 count and tries to pull the ball.
He's hitting .351, third highest in the league. He will drive it with authority. Good call. Out to left center, and Goodwin playing way off the line holds him to a single. All right, Dan, you got more on the Max thing from last night.
Yeah, Bob, just the way that Max Scherzer thinks and how he's always processing different situations. He told me that that situation to go made perfect sense because with Trey up in an 0-2 count, he knew Trey was probably going to get a breaking ball down in the dirt, so it was the right situation. He also took a shot at former teammate Jason Worth after the game saying, hey, if J-Dub can steal a base, I can definitely steal a base. I've got a faster home to first time than he does, so I wanted a piece of that action.
Scherzer also bragging about his pop-up slide.
You know, the fact that he's mentioned J-Dub a few times this year means that he misses him.
Sure.
I know there's a lot of guys in that clubhouse that do, and it's kind of a tribute to Jason that guys are still talking about him even though he's not here, in a good way.
Ryan Flaherty's off to a great start. That one eludes Severino way inside. And down to second, Dansby Swanson. So now it's 2-1. Turner able to let Swanson know he's right behind him. And a little comebacker. The lob to first. 2 down. Runner had to stay. Now the Nats have the option of walking the number 8 hitter, catcher Carlos Perez, or taking on Fultonevich, who drove in a couple of runs with a hit against Max Scherzer last week.
I think 2-0 lead. You'd rather face the pitcher leading off the third.
Perez, couple of games, 1 for 7 so far. Hits it hard, but Defoe's got it, and Strasburg gets a couple of quick outs after the inning started to take a while. On top by 2.
Again and put some StatCast all over it. 100.8 miles an hour and 1 dropped. And then Ryan was flying.
It wasn't caught.
There is a baseball god.
And knowing Ryan, he got over there and said, "Hi, Bob, I'm Ryan Zimmerman." Defoe, Severino, Strasburg, bottom of the second.
Yeah, and I want to apologize to him for thinking maybe what he was thinking, run to first. That the way things are going, Inciarte's going to grab that one. Let it drop for him. That was great.
2 out RBIs. Good as gold in this game. Wilmer Defoe's 3 for 15 to start the season. All of those hits from the left side in 11 at bats, and 2 of the 3 hits are doubles. And he has faced this righty before, 3 for 12. Couple of RBIs, couple of walks against Fultonevich. 30 pitches, 19 strikes, first inning. Two. Short left. Swanson out, Tucker in. Preston Tucker for the first out.
All right, tomorrow 1:05 at the ballpark. Get your tickets at nationals.com. If you get them now, you'll have a better view than you're looking at on your screen. I promise. It's gonna be nice tomorrow, right?
I'm just looking it up.
What do you got? Don't panic, you're on live TV. What do you got?
1 o'clock tomorrow. Cloudy skies, 52.
It's nice.
Same as game time tonight, but it's going to warm up as the afternoon goes on. It'll be 56 or so by 3 o'clock, so we'll look forward to that. And then a warming trend on its way later in the week. That's brought to you by my iPhone, which is a few generations older than yours.
Yeah, the same one that told me it wasn't raining last night when it was.
And it rained for 2.5 hours.
No.
But the cloud cover was low, right? And that's why it couldn't be seen. Or so we were told. When I went through for a broadcasting degree, they never told me it'd be talking about the weather so much. Way inside, 2-2 to Severino, who's still hitting 400. Pedro 6 for 15. He's also had 4 walks. And the best thing he could do is what he's doing right now to give the Nats a tough decision to make when Matt Wieters comes back and Miguel Montero comes back. I mean, you know, you'd expect for now the ball club would go with the veteran guys, but I tell you, Davey Martinez or 3 catchers, he said that yesterday. He said, I'm loving what I'm seeing from this young guy.
Yeah, how can you not? And it's not just offensively, it's the energy behind the plate, the way he runs the game back there, starting to get in sync with pitchers more. Max felt way more comfortable with him last night, obviously. He said as much after the game.
24 years of age, fighting off everything here. And the Nats do have one more extra man than they started the season with. They've got 5 now, including the backup catcher, Jonathan Solano at the moment. But when Enny Romero was DFA'd, Matt Reynolds was called up for his roster spot. And so the Nats do have one more extra man than they did for the first week of the season. So a little more room in that dugout.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't get into who should be on the roster, but he deserves to be here.
A little bobble, and that was dangerous. Flaherty bobbled it and then tailed that throw right into the runner. So Miguel Montero is now back. Jonathan Solano hurt himself. He's on the DL.
Stayed with it nice. Good hustle by Pedro. You know, Joe Madden had a saying, respect 90, meaning run everything out. Just get to the bag and look like you're running hard. And if you decide to run real hard, that's great too.
Yeah.
But I've always said that. It doesn't take a whole lot of ability 4 times a night to run as hard as you can to first base. But Dave Martinez says the same thing. Respect 90. Wants his guys to run hard to first all the time.
I think the point I was making a minute ago was if you only have 4 extra men, it's hard to have 3 catchers. With 5, it can be done.
Yeah. Oh, no. I just don't like to talk about that because someone's getting sent down. So when you start speculating, you know, a lot of broadcasters do, Carp. They're like, well, this guy and this guy. And, well, you're talking about people's lives and going back to AAA and not being in the big leagues.
Strasburg, first base hit of the year, adding to his 150 career average.
All right. Green light. Let's go. Time to steal second, Steven. Good swing. Fastball up. Squares it up. 104 miles an hour by the big fella. And Freddie Freeman is holding Steven Strasburg on at first base.
Steven Strasburg's 50th career base hit.
I mean, with Brian Goodwin up, you usually see a first baseman play behind a pitcher. Left-handed, I mean, you get left-handed hitter. And Freddie's heard it from the dugout right now. He just turned around and laughed.
Gee, who might that be, by the way?
He's like, yeah, you're holding him on tonight, aren't you? Look at, he's chirping to Freddie, and Freddie's chirping to Max. They're going back and forth. Now he's playing behind Steven. The game within the game, I love it. So you're holding them on now, huh? Freddie's still laughing at first base. This is great. See what you started?
Brian Goodwin walked to lead off bottom of the first. Harper a base hit, 1 out later. And then with 2 outs, Ryan Zimmerman got the 2-run triple. 3-2.
Well, he's going here. Brian is due to square one up right here, right now.
And behind Strasburg to the second baseman, Albies. The Nats gone in the second, but they've had 3 hits and a walk already.
We give you a little update on the progress of Daniel Hits Murphy. We miss saying Daniel Hits Murphy, but he was out early today around 3 o'clock, striding it out a little bit, practicing tagging up on fly balls at third, just kind of getting a feel for it, maybe getting used to it, getting confidence in it. Felt a little something there, but it's all about, you know, knowing that it's healed and being able to test it. And we'll see when he starts playing and when he's ready, but right now he's getting closer, folks, and there's his numbers.
Yeah, 197 RBIs in 2 years on 48 home runs. Let's see, 356 hits in those 2 years. And Miguel Montero alongside. We're going top 3 here. Strasburg was on base when that inning ended, so a few extra moments here. Clear skies in DC today and tonight. 52 at game time. And it's Strasburg against Mike Fultonevich, who's 1 for 5 career against him. So that's pitch number 26 and strike number 15.
It's a matter of personal preference, Carp. Do you like these jerseys or the Friday ones with the curly W and the stars and stripes in them? Which one would you take?
Right now, for me, it's Friday.
Yeah, I would too. I love these. These are clean, and maybe their best unis in a while, but there's nothing like the Stars and Stripes unis. I mean, you're in the nation's capital. Very patriotic.
Perfect pitch. Outer edge. So the first time through the order, the Braves go 2 for 8. And interestingly enough, Strasburg's first strikeout.
Got a little run back fastball. Came back perfectly. Clearly in the box. Not even close.
Inciarte flew out to center. leading off the game. Rendon on the grass at third. Got a leadoff guy who hasn't been doing a lot of hitting, so you never know when he might lay one down, try to get himself on. 4 for 25 career against Steven Strasburg. Outfield the other way. He'll pull it right side. Zimmerman took one look. He knew where Defoe was, retreated to the bag, 2 down. Join the Nats Thursday. Military Appreciation Day, part of the Patriotic Series, presented by SAIC. All active duty, dependent, reservists, or veterans with military ID or proof of service will receive complimentary tickets to Thursday's game against the Rockies. Visit nationals.com for all the details. It'll be a great night. Our old buddy Ian Desmond will be back in town. Nolan Arenado, Charlie Blackmon, DJ LeMahieu. Colorado Rockies 5-6 to start the season. Braves won 2 out of 3 against them over the weekend at Coors Field.
Yeah, the Rocks are 5-6 right now. 3.5 back of the Diamondbacks. That'll be a fun weekend series. They can hit. Yeah, Ian Desmond didn't play last year when they came into town. He was banged up.
Yeah, he got hit by a pitch at the end of spring training. Ozzie Albies doubled over Bryce Harper's glove. And then after nearly going to third on that play, and that was no swing, he tried to surprise Strasburg and the Nats by stealing third. Steven calmly stepped off and threw him out. Fastball away, no chance. 2-2. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
Got tremendous movement on the heater tonight. Getting that arm side run. Watch that thing fade late at 96. Looks like a strike all the way until you go to swing and it's not on the plate.
Got him looking out there again. Strasburg, his first 2 Ks in this, the top of the third. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Anthony Rendon. That's a great 2-3-4 ahead.
The target that a catcher gives him. I love the athleticism of Pedro back there, spreading his legs out wide and giving his pitcher a nice low target to aim at.
Fastball, and Turner hits it a long way to left center. Right in between the outfielders, and Tucker runs it down. Bryce Harper now with the bases empty. Trey on base once in this series so far. Bryce 4 times, 3 walks last night, and a ball that he hit extremely hard up the middle.
Think he gets anything to hit after a 108-mile-an-hour single? I'm saying 4 wide here. I'm guessing. Unless Fulton Davis is just feeling real frisky. Tremendous April numbers.
And if memory serves me correctly, best start of all was a couple of years ago before the Nats went to Chicago on that road trip. I mean, he was at the top of just about every hitting category in the National League. So it's always great to get out of the gate, and Bryce has done that. He still has more home runs than some big league teams have. Second in RBIs. Two and two. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. League leaders. So minimum 3,000 plate appearances. Only Joey Votto, the on-base machine, higher than Bryce. With the on-base percentage plus slugging. Harper gashes it the other way, and it's right at Tucker. He's been using that side of the field beautifully in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to go after it, but when Bryce offered at the 2-0 changeup and he got strike 1, he thought, okay, well, maybe we're going to dance here. And he went 2-1 fastball to 2-2 fastball, and Bryce squares this one up to left. And the only thing you're wondering is if Preston Tucker would lose that one in the lights. He didn't. But another good swing for Bryce Harper.
Anthony Rendon fouled out to Freeman first time. Cutting to the outer edge, 0-2. Ball game underway 54 minutes ago. So we're at the 8 o'clock hour here. BCFP, DK, Johnny Holiday, Ray Knight are here. Ryan Zimmerman's here. He let everybody know that with a 2-run triple in the bottom of the first. Funny how baseball works. Some saw it as, you know, Ryan slumping, drop him down 1 spot in the order, and then boom, first inning, he puts you on top. Inning came around to him, and he took advantage, hitting the ball extremely hard. Like Rendon does there, and that's a fair ball. Going to hit that short corner, and Mr. Two Bags has his 4th of the year.
He'd taken some good rips the first time up and early in that at-bat, and the bent arm swing of Anthony Rendon again looked like a 2-seam fastball that kept chasing him, but he's so darn quick. Watch where this pitch starts, watch where it finishes, and he still gets a good part of the barrel to the baseball, enough to get it by Ryan Flaherty at third. So a 2-out double, and maybe Ryan can drive in another one. Let's see.
Opportunities have found Ryan Zimmerman here early. Chopper past the mound near the second base bag, and Albies takes care of it. Nats have had runners in every inning. They've stranded 3 so far to the middle innings, up by 2. Brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Team store busy. Ooh, good-looking hoodie for the All-Star game. To the 4th inning we go. Freeman, Markakis, Tucker. Last night after 3 innings, Max Scherzer had 2 strikeouts, gave up 1 hit. Tonight, Strasburg, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits. Steven 35 pitches, 21 strikes. Max was at 31 pitches, 20 strikes.
You know, I feel like since J-Lo was here in our booth, she should play in the celebrity softball game.
You have that connection?
No, I'm just saying she should. I'd bet her lead off. Center field.
Are you going to play in that?
No, it's a celebrity softball.
You going to play in that?
I haven't been asked, but I'd go 4 for 4 and hit for the cycle if I did. I'd just be breaking up double plays, trucking catchers.
That is not the spirit of the celebrity softball game. Carrying people off with broken limbs.
I'm taking people with me. I play to win. I got your celebrity right here.
And by that, by the way, you're going to be working that day anyway. I heard that. Swing and a miss. Steven Strasburg sparkling here in the early going. And after walking Freddie Freeman in the first, strikeout number 3 here.
But he saw the fastball up and in while we were goofing around up here, and then he goes changeup a lot like Max did last night. Watch. So gets a couple of strikes. That pitch, even though it's off the plate, it gets you thinking. Then the changeup. So make you aware of the heater close to you, under your hands. And when it's mid-90s, folks, I don't care who you are, Freddie Freeman or Babe Ruth, you got to gear up to get to 97 on the inner half. So you're thinking about that, and then you drop the slow pitch behind it, and you're spent. You can't do anything. It's hard to pull the trigger, and if you do pull the trigger, you run out of bat. Great sequence. He was watching last night.
Markakis hit the ball well, lined out to Taylor first time. Ryan Zimmerman backs up for that chopper. Underhand Strasburg. Perfect. And the outs keep on coming.
He was watching last night, and so was Pedro Severino. That's what that was all about. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details.
2 outs, bases empty. Preston Tucker lined out to Goodwin his first time. Strasburg around the plate. The Braves are hacking. And the shift is on with Defoe in right field. 96.
When you talk about pitchers feeding off each other, what does that mean? Well, I guarantee you it's going through Steven's mind that the Nats scored 2 in the first, and Max made it stand up last night. And you know what? Darn it, I'm going to do the same thing here tonight, or at least try. You got me enough runs. I'm going to try to replicate last night. If you want to add on, that's fine. But in my mind, that's enough for me.
You can sit back and watch a guy like that and say, well, I'll never be that good. Or you can take the Scherzer Strasburg challenge and go out and be the very best that you can do. And as you say, guys start feeding off each other. Those people in Atlanta know that for all those years, those guys challenged each other every day.
Right.
With the bats and everything.
Golf clubs, bats, didn't matter what.
Oh-2, target away. Showed him that pitch outside. Man, 89 on the changeup. He doubled up on the changeup after missing away, and now Strasburg has struck out 4 of the last 6 Atlanta Braves.
That pitch was filthy.
Some offensive adjustments with hitting coach Kevin Long recently. We're used to seeing Michael with that big high leg kick, but his focus of late has been getting that foot down early, much like Anthony Rendon does. And Kevin Long telling me that in the 3 days that Taylor has started this new approach, he's only swung at 1 pitch out of the zone. That one might have been a little bit low, but Long wants him staying with a right center mindset, saying he's quick enough to turn on any pitch and hit it hard to the pull side. But if he thinks right center and keeps getting that foot down early to help him with pitch recognition, Kevin Long thinks Michael could start to lock it in really soon, guys.
That would be great for the Nats. 6 for 35 to start the season. On the edge, 0-2. Bouncer to third, first time up.
But the leg kick, even though at times it can be inconsistent, creates a lot more torque in your swing.
Popped up right side. Freeman checking his surroundings. right at the rail for the first out. Geico President's Race. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Oh.
Teddy's slumping all of a sudden, and
oh,
boy, he and George went right into the wall.
He went cheese grater.
Tall Tom beats Abe. So visit geico.com, see how much you could save. Better to stay away from barriers when you're driving, though. Defoe, fly ball to left, first time up.
See, Wilmer doing the same thing. So when you get the foot down early, it keeps your head still and you can recognize pitches better. It's the ideal way to hit. It's just that some guys don't have the strong wrists and hands and the quick bat to throw the head out there without creating the momentum of the leg you kick. So now you're just kind of like flat-footed. You're seeing the ball better, but you're not hitting it maybe as hard or far.
Well, Swanson had the ball come up his arm or into his body there. Defoe will be safe. And most probably Dansby Swanson's first error of the year.
And that point's arguable too. There's some people that say you can hit just as far getting your foot down, but you have to be strong up top as you look at the error again. Dansby kind of sitting on that one. The ball came up, hit him in the heel. You play through that baseball, keep your feet moving, you catch it. Like I said in Atlanta, these guys nowadays, just the infields are like playing on carpet. You don't have to move your feet as much as you used to have to.
Well, barring the double play, the Nats will get it to Strasburg in this inning. Severino, ground ball to third, his first time up.
Just sounded 100 with that statement, by the way. But it's true. They're so well manicured. The dirt is so compact now, Carp. It's like playing on Augusta, every single big league field it is. I mean, look at, you know, when there's bad hops out there, there's bumps and lumps and rocks, you have to keep your feet moving. Keep your gloves off.
Ball, you could hear it skipping into Freddie Freeman's mitt. Tim Bogar a visit with Defoe. Wilmer 1-for-1 stealing. The Nats are remarkable 15 out of 17 so far. By far the most in baseball. He's running, and that'll keep the Nats out of a potential double play as Swanson throws out Severino. Next 5, it starts tomorrow. A.J. Cole and Brandon McCarthy, who's been around forever, but only faces the Nats for the 4th time ever. And then the Rockies are in for 3 or 4. Night games Thursday, Friday, and then we'll go 1 o'clock, 1:30 on the weekend. Well, Strasburg with authority, base hit to center, first time up. So he has 50 career hits and 18 runs batted in. Slider to the inside edge. Carlos Perez with the stop. Getting his money was worth these first 2 times up.
Well, even though they're cheating up because Steven's hitting, Defoe could still score on a single.
Yeah, Markakis really shallow and right. Good eye, 3-2.
What, you got fastball here? That's what he got a base hit on last time. Do you show him that much respect and go slider? We'll see.
Heater. Strasburg spoils it. Way outside. Strasburg on for the second time tonight. 2 on for Brian Goodwin.
Great at bat by Steven right there. Now you wonder what's going through Mike Fultonavich's mind. He's a guy that get rattled at times, we've been told. Although we didn't see it last time in Atlanta, but that's got to frustrate you, right? You walk the opposing pitcher.
Nationals pitchers on base 3 of the last 4 plate appearances, by the way. And don't forget, Scherzer got robbed of a hit by Inciarte his last time up last night. So Goodwin a walk and a grounder. Still good career numbers against Mike Fultonavich. 5 out of 9. Up in the zone, 0-2. It's a big time 2-strike rip right there.
Well, he made him aware of 96 in. Let's see if he tries that changeup away off of it or he doubles up in. That's a pretty good foul ball. That was borderline and he fought it off.
Goodwin trying to drop one into center. Inciarte cannot get it. It's another 2-out RBI. Defoe scores. 3-0 Washington.
Well, the error hurts the Braves. A routine ground ball to Dansby Swanson turns into a run for the Nats and gives Steven Strasburg a lot of credit for keeping the line moving and Brian Goodwin for fouling off a tough 2-strike pitch and putting one in play. That's it. Just simply putting one in play. Gets himself a knock, an RBI, and puts his ball club up by 3. Inciarte has had some tough chances out there tonight.
There it goes to left, high in the air from Turner. And you've got to hit one a ton through traffic and wind in this ballpark in April. But the Nats had a run and it's 3-0.
Tonight, 45 pitches, 28 for strikes. That's a big one anytime you strike that guy out. Nasty changeup. And look at the jump in his step. Pedro Severino hopping back to the dugout after, I think that was the filthiest pitch of the night. Washington area Toyota dealers help children and their families by making a $44 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this year.
Similarities keep on going tonight from last night. Strasburg 45 pitches, 28 strikes. Scherzer was 44 and 29. They each had 4 punchies, as Max calls them. And here we go to the 5th inning with Swanson, Flaherty, and Perez, 6, 7, 8. Meanwhile, Foltynewicz is in the low 90s on his pitch count through 4 innings. Dansby Swanson, base hit to left, first time up. That's perfect to the outside edge. And because of that high pitch count, Shane Carl throwing for the Braves. They get more than 3 batters to the plate in this inning. Looks like they'll pinch hit for their starter.
Got a 3-1 fastball first time up, lined it in left center. Now he's got a fight down 0-2.
Looked like he might have gone, and the first base umpire, Chad Whitson, says no.
Look at it again. Serious, I'm not commenting on one of those all year. I'm just gonna let you watch, because I don't know.
You watch and
yeah,
you be the ump.
yeah, you be the ump at home, because I don't know.
It's one of the great mysteries of baseball. Where's that line
I don't know.
for the check swing? He did check that time. 2-2.
Away.
Yeah, pulled his base hit first time up. Swing and a miss on a pitch diving down and in. That's the changeup. So effective even to a right-hander. It's number 5 for Strasburg.
That whole rhythm thing's starting to happen. You look at what he's done the last few innings. Well, what he's done tonight. You see the fingertips, the deceleration, the index finger not involved. It's just the middle finger and the ring finger.
Flaherty, a little comebacker to Strasburg first time. Stealing a first pitch strike with the curveball.
These guys are making it look easy. This is a good hitting team, folks.
Yeah.
The Braves can hit. We saw that in Atlanta. They went to Coors Field and everybody hits there.
Max took 18 points off their team batting average last night.
This is a good hitting ball club and a decent lineup. The one coming in Thursday is okay too.
The Rockies always tough.
Yeah, they're tough at home though. You took a Charlie Blackmon. He signed a nice deal, right? But last year at Coors, he hit 344, and away from Coors, he hit 266. And that's been the case for a lot of Rockies hitters throughout history. Obviously, it's advantageous to hit at Coors Field, but I think, you swing at pitches at Coors Field you normally wouldn't swing at, and then when you swing at those on the road, you're not rewarded for it.
1-2 pitch. Nolan Arenado with home runs last year, an exception to that. He had 19 at Coors and 18 on the road. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, his pop is
that guy
anywhere.
Ugh. He is so good. 2-2 pitch. Brian Honora stood up. Ball 3. That is tardy for 96. For Steven Strasburg now 10 in a row, 6 of those strikeouts.
Yeah, he's got the whole arsenal on display here tonight. Doesn't matter what Pedro Severino puts down, although there's been some beautiful sequences here, and they've set up pitches nicely, but yeah, that was on purpose. An elevated fastball out of the zone. Flaherty couldn't catch up, couldn't hold back his swing, and yeah, it doesn't matter. It must be fun to catch Max and Steven back-to-back nights, right? There's still game plans. You still have to execute game plans, but you're not taking a gamble with whatever finger you put down because their arsenal is amazing.
Number 8 hitter, Carlos Perez. Up the middle, busted bat. Defoe gets to it, whips it across his body, and that's a beauty. Strasburg not only 11 straight, but now 13 of his last 14. Zimmerman to follow. So that's from Ram Trucks. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer or log on to ramtrucks.com to get to work. Guts, glory, Ram. Strasburg, a brief visit to the tunnel. He's been fantastic. 12 pitches per inning tonight. 3-0 Nats. Bryce has hit it on the nose twice. A base hit up the middle, a line drive to left. Because Perez made the last out, that buys Fultonevich another inning on the mound as he starts the 5th with 92 pitches. 58 strikes. Bryce, another hard hit ball, and Freddie Freeman a good job to give with it. 1 out.
Hit it right on the nose. And a nice play by Freddie Freeman. That ball was scorched. And a first pitch slider it looked like, and Freddie was on his toes. A one-hop bullet. And as the NHL playoffs begin, that was a great save.
Early favorite for the Vezina Trophy. Here's Rendon, double last time. So now Anthony on this homestand, 8 for 16. He's hit in all but one game in which he's played so far.
You know, he's been in that vote in All-Star thing a few times. I hope that he makes the team this year. especially in his own ballpark. I think it'd be great.
I'd love to hear that ovation.
Yeah.
On July 17th.
You know, sometimes people that don't crave the attention deserve it the most.
Full count, 1 out. Up and in. Rendon strikes out. And for Foltynewicz, his second K of the night. Ryan Zimmerman is next.
Should be a healthy rip. I was seeing something today where fastball usage is the lowest it's been in a long, long time. And we've said the days of the 2-0, 2-1 fastball are pretty much gone. With all the home runs and the launch angles, the fastball is almost becoming the secondary pitch for a lot of guys. There it is.
Yeah, we still call 2-1, 3-1 hitters counts, but that doesn't mean you're getting what you're expecting.
I just threw a 2-0 slider and a 2-1 slider.
Target away. And on a ball diving, Ryan strikes out. That'll be it for Foltynewicz tonight. He'll go 5 and give 3 runs, 2 earned. All Strasburg tonight. 60 pitches, 38 strikes. Lane Adams pinch hits. Top 6 for the Atlanta Braves. He's been a good pinch hitter. You saw his overall stats. That breaking ball made him look bad. But as a pinch hitter, all 3 of his hits, 3 for 6, a homer, 4 RBIs. So the Braves not much going tonight. Albies the double first inning. Swanson a 1-out single second inning. Other than a Freddie Freeman first inning walk, that is it. Trey Turner behind it. Ryan Zimmerman hangs in there with a tailing throw. Nationals Park Saturday the 14th. Rockies here, Dream Foundation Day. You can purchase a mystery grab bag. It has an autographed baseball by a Nats player or Davey Martinez. We'll get you going with sales at 11 a.m. Centerfield Plaza. They will go fast. Get your game tickets at nationals.com. Top of the order, Ender Inciarte.
I mean, put a figure down, Pedro. It doesn't matter right now. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. I mean, you can set up certain pitches, but first pitch changeup, strike, paint, 96, strike. Going turbo change here with 2 strikes.
Target away. And a 2-strike base hit. Ender Inciarte, he might be the one guy in their ball club who needed that hit more than anybody. Batting average down in the 200 range before he dropped that one into center. So that breaks a streak of 12 consecutive Braves retired and 14 out of 15. Makes Albies an important hitter with 1 out. Freddie Freeman next.
Well, that's a big at bat here in the 6th with Freddie Freeman on deck in a 3-run game. He's trying to get on like a leadoff hitter so that Freddie represents the tie and run. So just got a little more interesting.
Inciarte 2 for 2 so far. .40 career steals. And that changeup really messing with their timing.
Good frame by Severino to get the call. Borderline pitch, been throwing strikes. Clearly in the box. Steve, going to take a walk around and kind of reset. Step on the grass. Get that pitch out of your head. And focus on this one. Big pitch coming.
Runner going. Out of play. 2-2.
He wanted to bounce the changeup to Inciarte and he left it up. He got a piece. Let's see if they decide to go with it again here. Looks like a heater away.
Medium lead. Runner holding. 3-2.
Now, I don't think you start Inciarte here, but we'll see what Brian Snitker decides to do.
Yeah, he does not want Freddie Freeman leading off next inning.
Normally, yeah, but against a strikeout pitcher, I don't think you do, but we'll see. Got a pretty big lead.
Runner going, and this one to Taylor. Inciarte will have to retreat. So the good news is Freddie Freeman cannot tie the game. And the good news is Strasburg struck him out last time up.
So it's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. We'll go back to the 4th inning. And the sequence and the pitch to finish off Freddie Freeman. What you didn't see there was some fastballs up and in, and watch his front shoulder kind of leak. Hard to pick up that changeup. Same arm speed. 10 miles an hour slower.
Freddie Freeman has such a great wingspan and can reach just about anything. Makes that even a more remarkable pitch.
And I'm not seeing our Jimmy John's delivery in the booth, so that's not good.
They're really fast. They could show up any second. If you ever heard their commercials, that guy talks fast. Freeman a walk and a strikeout. At the letters with the fastball.
This would be cool if we could have an interactive broadcast in real time. Put fastball, curveball, change. What would you throw here? And then and you see which one the fans would pick.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I'm going change off the plate down and away.
I'm going curveball because I saw the sign.
It'll be a backdoor variety. Strasburg missed to the other side, but a good block by the always active Pedro Severino.
Love the way he bounces around back there. So athletic, so into every single pitch. Look at the helmet come off. The bare hand, he's ready to chunk one down to second. I would vote for fastball up here.
Way up?
Above the letters. That's what he called. And he shook him off.
The backdoor curveball. This inning is over. That's a called third strike. Strasburg, 7 Ks on the night and brilliant through 6.
With the Nats over the years. So this is a big pitch, right? 2 strikes. Check it out. And this is called being totally committed to a pitch. You want a fastball up? No. Then he goes change up? No. Then he calls curveball. So that's what Steven wanted to throw, and that's the most important thing, right? You've got to be committed to this pitch against Freddie Freeman. And Pedro was just throwing in case they called it a ball. He didn't want to sit around and wait for the umpire's call. That was good too. But you have to be 100% all in on the pitch you throw Freddie Freeman right there, because if there's 10% doubt, it could be 3-2 just like that. Yeah. So he knew what he wanted to do, and that's the maturation process of Steven Strasburg saying, no, I want to throw this pitch. I'm committed to this pitch. Strike 3 to a good hitter.
Working beautifully with the young catcher tonight. Bottom 6, Shane Carl for the Braves. Taylor a chopper left side. Flaherty was playing shallow. 1 out. Shane Carl, 26-year-old righty out of Cal State Long Beach. And with Colorado last year, just 3 games out of the bullpen, and this will be appearance number 5 for the Braves. He's been good. A run on 5 hits through 7 2/3. 5 strikeouts, a walk. Strike to Defoe. Wilmer's last at bat, an important one for the Nats. Hit the ball pretty hard to Swanson, who couldn't handle it. And with 2 outs, scored on the Bryant Goodwin bloop single. Huge 3rd run to add on. Defoe hooking one for a base hit. Went out and got it. And the Nats have their 6th base hit.
A nice stroke here by Wilmer. Got a changeup from Carl and stayed through it. Look at that. Tail it away, but he kind of reaches out, outer half, and pulls that ball to left field. Right field, excuse me. Nice at bat.
Severino has pulled 2 ground balls. As mentioned earlier, Wilmer 1 for 1 stealing.
I know it's only 10 games, but I have a feeling Dave Martinez's brand of baseball is going to be fun to watch for 6 months. He's not afraid to send guys. He's not afraid to safety squeeze. Sent the pitcher last night. We talked to him before the game. He said, if I get John Lester a stolen base, I can get anybody one. I mean, I just like the way he thinks about the game. It's kind of out of the box. It's aggressive. It's, we're bringing the game to you. Can you stop us?
Defoe digging for a second, foul ball. So the Nats 2 in the first on the Goodwin walk, Harper single, and Zimmerman triple. And the big unearned run we referenced a moment ago in the 4th. So the Nats pitchers in this series are 2 for 4 with a walk and a steal.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Defoe running again, and this ball labeled for center field. Wilmer reads it over to 3rd, and Strasburg will bat with a corner situation. You didn't think Pedro was going to go 0 for tonight, did you? He's now 7 for 18.
Nice job of pulling his hands in here and trying to fight it to the hole that was vacated by Ozzie Albies covering for the steal. I don't know if he meant to do that, but it's a good 2-strike approach either way. Once you're that far, there's no reason to even slow down if you're Wilmer. If he catches it, it's a double play. Who cares? Nice swing, nice base running, and now Steven has a chance to add on.
Well, some of which you just talked about could come into play here.
We'll see.
Could be bunting with a speedy guy at 3rd.
Push it to 1st.
He's going to lay off and take a ball. Yeah, if you don't get the runner home, you still have 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs.
Yeah, right here is where you want to go with the bunt. And then if you're Wilmer, you read it. Because Freeman has to hold the runner on first base.
Severino 1 for 1 stealing. Don't want to run yourself out of an inning here.
And so Freddie's holding him on right there. And ideally, you want the bunt just to kind of go in this area right here. And then if you're on third, you're reading it. You see it toward him, you go. There it is.
There it is, but Defoe's going to hold. And Carl throws it away. Defoe will score. Severino stops at third. And the Braves have handed the Nats a couple of runs tonight. 4-0.
So it didn't work, but it worked. Steven was trying to bunt that more toward first away from Carl, but the fact that Carl fielded this and Freddie Freeman didn't might have been a blessing in disguise as he launches one down the right field line. And you see the pitch was coming into Steven, so it was hard for him to get inside of it and push it to the line. Got a little closer to the pitcher. You see the frustration. Wilmer wasn't going and then strolls home after the grenade down the right field line.
Strasburg gets a sacrifice. E1 brings in Defoe. Second and third infield in. Goodwin's already driven one in tonight. And the Nats got busted open here.
I'll tell you what, that play was made by Wilmer Defoe, not just running all crazy to home plate on a ball back to the pitcher. He read it. And the reason he read it is the Nats worked on this a lot during spring training. They set up the pitching mound on the mound. They'd have runners at first, runners at third, and bunters bunting at home. And they would read it. And you'd have a pitcher on the mound actually reading the bunt. So, you know, that's not by mistake that he put the brakes on right there. And you remember Wilmer early in the season last year. He'd have took off right there. He just ran home, ran into it out. But he read it. He stayed. Throw goes down the line. You score a run. Nicely done.
Playing a little Davy ball tonight. Nats have out hit the Braves 7-3, lead 4-0 now. Big gap in right center. Goodwin taking 3-0.
So you got to read this as a runner. If it goes down the line, you go. But he saw that it was right back to the pitcher, so he put on the brakes and then strolls home after the bad throw.
Severino from first to third on that play. Strasburg ending up at second. Goodwin taking on 3-0. The curveball up in the zone. 2 outs. Inning up to Trey Turner, so they've got to go after him here.
A base hit here makes it real tough on the Braves. Real tough.
One.
Yeah, trouble on deck. So if you're Trey Turner, what are you thinking? They have to pitch to me right here. I'm going to get a good pitch.
Good take, close.
There is No lefties up in the Braves bullpen for Bryce Harper. No Sam Freeman, no AJ Minter, nobody throwing. Trey had a good swing last time. He hit that ball hard into the breeze and left, blowing down half street. Might have had himself a home run in different conditions.
Breaking ball got him. Carl battles back to strike out Goodwin and Turner with curveballs. Nats pick up another unearned run. Braves ever going top 7. There's no better time to act than today. PNC make today the day. So Matt Wieters tonight with Potomac, half hour or so down the road. 1 for 4, a base hit, a run scored. And it's always good when you have a big lead over the Wood Ducks going into the late innings.
They are kicking the Wood Ducks' curly tail all over the place tonight.
And on a more serious note, but maybe some positive news, Victor Robles, the injury yesterday, FP, and maybe not as bad as originally feared.
It looks bad, I know that. I've watched this all day today. It was on MLB Network. And that just didn't look right. And we hope he's okay. We enjoyed what we saw of him last year and in spring training, and even in the playoffs for that matter. Made the playoff roster.
Speaking of the Fitz,
Oh,
Down East Wood Ducks still there tomorrow.
ugh.
10:35 a.m. start for middle school day.
It's just too early.
Nats Ducks.
That's too early for the players. They're playing right now, and they got to play at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Marketing, baby.
Well, you know the old saying in the minor leagues, if you don't like it, play better. But that is that is just rough. Sleep when you're dead.
Markakis 0 for 2. Line drive to center. Ground ball to Zimmerman, 1-1. Strasburg is still retired. 16 of the last 18 Braves hitters, just missing the outside edge.
I don't think Matt Wieters is playing that game tomorrow. Oh, that's just,
Promote me or bench me.
you're not meant to play baseball at 10:30 in the morning.
Unless it's the 4th of July.
Yeah, that's okay.
Or thereabouts. Trey Turner handles that one. Some soft contact by the Braves lately. Get breaking Nationals news as it happens. Check out massinsports.com. Visit our site for the latest headlines from Mark Zuckerman and Byron Kerr. Don't miss a Nat story. Check out massinsports.com. And during the ball game, I use massinsports.com for what I think is the best looking scoreboard around Major League Baseball. All the details of what's going on in all the other games. You can punch up a box score for any game in progress or a final. massinsports.com. Check it out.
Give that guy a raise.
Right side, and Wilmer from right field. Zimmerman squares up and takes the throw. Tucker out, 2 down.
That was a long throw, and Ryan had a little traffic coming by him right there. So the shift allows you to go as far as your arm will let you. And look at the throw by Wilmer, and Ryan, was his foot even on the bag?
He's got a way of popping off that thing real quickly.
I know, but watch. That was close. Clearly on.
Dansby Swanson 1 for 2. Jose Ramirez for the bottom of the 7th.
Pitch number 83 coming. 53 strikes, 29 balls.
In the air, right center. Strasburg almost as impressive as his teammate last night. These guys are dealing. What's important, that's M&T Bank, and they have our due up here in the bottom of the 7th, so some timely numbers to check on. Last season and into this year, what they do 7th, 8th, or 9th, maybe extra innings. So Bryce, Anthony, and Ryan, clutch guys. 4-7-0 Nats, 2 unearned runs. Zimmerman a 2-run triple first inning, 0-3-2 Braves. And if you need expert printing, the UPS store has you covered. Together, nothing we can't solve. The call goes to 25-year-old Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, fastball 95 this year. Slider changed to go with it. Fastball last year averaged 97. And here we go.
Bryce Harper 1 for 4 against him. And tonight 1 for 3. Not that far from being 3 for 3 the way he's hit the ball tonight. Got jammed on that one. Preston Tucker, left field.
So some Verizon Fios Expo. I want to show you Anthony Rendon's hands on his double tonight in the 3rd inning. Watch him pull his hands in here on this pitch, which is darn near unhittable for a lot of right-handers. And watch him, the bent arm swing, and he gets the barrel to the baseball and gets a double out of that pitch. Not too many guys are that talented, that quick, and have that good a hand-eye coordination. From TVs to tablets, everything is amazing on the 100% fiber optic network. Visit getfios.com today.
And we've seen a number of his hits on this homestand, and there have been 8 of them when he's done just that and driven the ball to left or left center. Ramirez, 28 years of age. Time in the American League with the Yankees in Seattle. 3rd year with the Braves. 68 appearances last year. Trey running out of the box in case, but it's foul. Pardon me, Rendon. He was quick out of the box, but not as quick as Trey. 0-2. By the way, Justin Bour has hit his first homer of the year, and the Marlins are tied with the Mets down in Florida 4-4.
So quick. It was a changeup, but still. The squint on the swing just blows my mind the way he does that. Just kind of a reflex. I mean, have we ever X-mode that to see if he's really like making contact with one eye?
We can get him to keep both of them open. He'll hit 400. He's a remarkable hitter. Very advanced. Right from his first days in the big leagues. No swing, says Chad Whitson.
So strong to hold up the swing that late. Try this at home, you break both wrists.
Works it full. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast and the entire at-bat. Anthony with a walk, 2 for 5 against Ramirez. And he gets jammed into a pop-up. This one near the screen, and it stays in for Perez. 2 outs. Ryan Zimmerman, a walk and RBI on a sac fly career against Ramirez. 0 for 3.
Love to turn that 1 for 3 into a 2 for 4, and then you go. You'll get that 2-hit night under your belt.
On the inside edge, 1 and 2.
Yeah, surprised him. It wasn't supposed to be there. Everything's been away the whole series, and that was a backup slider. Kind of leaning out over, thinking about right center.
Swing and a miss, and the Nats are gone in the 7th. Strasburg is averaging 14 pitches per inning. He's about to go back to work. By Lexus, experience amazing, and by the hotels at BWI.com. Minutes from BWI, Marshall, Amtrak, and Interstate 95. Discover the convenience of the hotels at BWI.com.
I wish
I
the
could get in
lights,
some traffic moving that quick in this town.
I wish the lights were that fast around here. Check out the line. 83 pitches is the number that's most important now. Do we have any high stress in those 84? First inning, maybe?
Yeah, the double, and then he got the pickoff.
So no.
I mean, it looked like it could have been stressful in the 6th FP, but he got Albies on the fly ball and then struck out Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, I'm talking about really redlining.
Yeah, I would say no.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Ryan Flaherty, a comebacker and a swinging strikeout. And maybe the second 3-0 count I can remember all night.
Yeah, 2 complete games in his career, and this is where you smell the finish line. You know, hey, I got this.
Yeah, 4 in a row. Second walk of the night. Freeman back in the 1st. The other.
See, that walk though gets Derek Lilliquist on the phone and get the bullpen up. Are you tired? Are your legs hurting? Are you in shape at this point? Are you feeling it? I mean, nobody works out harder between starts than Steven. He's a madman with his workout routine. But right now he's having trouble finding the dish 5 in a row.
Charlie Culberson to hit for Ramirez in a moment. Carlos Perez, couple of ground balls to Defoe tonight. There's a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, he'd love one of those. A little twin killing. Sammy Solis getting hot.
.94 with the heater, elevated a bit.
I mean, if you're going to put a ball play on the ground off Steven, it's the changeup. Maybe the curveball if it's down. It's a high ground ball rate with that pitch too, so we'll see what they decide on here if he goes for the punch out or the ground ball. You know, this is where with 3-hit shutout going, you could use some help from the fans to get you to the finish line too. Remember,
2-2.
Remember last night, everybody into it. Max kind of feeding off it. The whole place was chanting, "Let's go, Max." You know, you get to this point in the game, 92 pitches, you've been dealing all night. The adrenaline that you receive from the fans is what gets you to the end. Really does. You ask players all the time. They feed off it.
2-2. That was a curveball. All right, there's some reaction coming. And a drive to right. Harper measuring it. Bryce didn't have to go far to his left for an important first out in the 8th.
All right, Friday the 13th, be one of the first 25,000 fans, Nats Rockies, to collect the first of 5 2018 bobbleheads. It's Sean Doolittle bobblehead night at the Yard. For tickets, visit nationals.com. Talked to Sean about it today. He really likes the way it looks. It's a good one if you've seen pictures of it. Real good.
Charlie Culberson, 0 for 1 career against Steven Strasburg. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter for the Braves. Pinch hitters late innings usually up there hacking if they see a fastball early. They haven't been too stressed the last 2 nights, have they, standing next to each other?
I told Derek Lilliquist today he was the best pitching coach in all of baseball last night. He said, that was fun to watch, wasn't it? Exact comeback. I said, absolutely.
Lilliquist cut his teeth in the Atlanta organization as a young pitcher.
That couldn't have felt good.
2-1 to the pinch hitter. Out of play.
All right. Pick your pitch. What do you got? Well, there's Ender Inciarte. He's on deck. I vote curveball here since we're playing that game. My Twitter blew up on the last one. I like it. Nasty hammer.
Preferably low in the zone for the K or the grounder.
One heater.
Well,
I lose.
he's committed, right? So started this inning with 83 pitches. Number 100 about to come.
Pitch number 100, 94 miles an hour. Velocity still good. Command still decent. You see the pitch distribution, 13-12, couple of 10s, couple of 15s. Everything away to Culberson. They still vote curveball.
Three-two with one out. Runner holding. Pitch probably off the plate inside, but close enough for Charlie Culberson.
You think it's his last hitter? He's got Sammy Solis hot for Ender Inciarte. We'll see. First things first. Big 3-2 pitch coming.
Got him on the changeup. And Charlie Culberson seemingly staring at Strasburg after that to say, "You threw me that on 3-2.
This was filth and muck and dirt all in one pitch. 87-mile-an-hour changeup. Watch the release point. That's a fastball, right? Nope. Drops off the table, and here comes the skipper, and I think that's going to do it. Is there a discussion? Has he signaled yet? I don't think he has.
Maybe one of these how you feeling deals.
Are you all right? He just said. You sure? It's your game. Wow. And I'm 100% sure I read his lips right.
Fans love it. They always love when the starter gets to stay in.
How you feeling?
And so do we.
How you feeling? Good. Are you sure? Yes. This is your game. Love it.
Trusting your veteran, right? Top of the order, Inciarte. Base hit last time, 1 for 3.
You know, I'm trying to think of the times that a manager went out and asked Steven how he felt. Usually it's they just go get the ball when he gets to a certain pitch. I mean, I remember Matt Williams doing it a couple times.
Is the skipper going to be rewarded? Yes, he is, with a quick out. Steven Strasburg, 8 shutout innings. So Scherzer and Strasburg have shut out the Braves for 17 frames in this series. Washington Nationals, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals, hosts of the 2018 All-Star Game. 103 pitches, 64 strikes, 2 walks, 8 Ks, no runs, 3 hits, 8 innings.
The DC Lexus dealers donate $250 to the Children's National Health System for the first 200 taters hit by the Nats this year. Lexus, experience amazing. I love what I just saw on the mound.
So it's lefty A.J. Minter against Taylor, Defoe, and Severino.
I mean, he showed confidence in his big right-hander. And maybe even pushed him a little further than he thought he could go. I think at times, you know, you see the manager come out, you're used to hand him the baseball, and Dave Martinez just said, hey, man, do you have another one in you? Can you get one more for me? And Steven said yes. He left him in and got a tough hitter out. I mean, that goes a long way in the clubhouse. That goes a long way with other pitchers that know that when he comes out, it's not necessarily the hook. And he just pushed Steven to a level maybe that he didn't even know he had one more in him, you know?
Well, they say the toughest thing about managing at times is how to handle your bullpen, when to pull your starter. Little extra confidence there, and that was really great.
And a 4-0 game, the worst thing happens, he hits a home run, it's 4-2. So it wasn't like it was a huge gamble, but there was a lot of subtle messages set right there in the game within the game by leaving his right-hander in for one more hitter. And is he done? Did we see handshakes down there? I would imagine.
I thought we did. Scherzer was the first, by the way. Three-two to Michael A. Taylor. Fastball by him.
For every Nats walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the boys and girls clubs of Greater Washington. The Nationals have drawn 58 walks for $2,900. Care First encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
Wilmer Defoe. Two runs scored tonight, 1 for 3, reaching on an error and batting left-handed. The base hit to right field last time up. He's only had 4 at-bats this side of the plate without a hit. By the way, after that first out, Sammy Solis bounced back up in the bullpen. Albies, Freeman, and Markakis, so a left-handed heavy top of the 9th for Atlanta. Defoe hits it hard, right past Flaherty, smelling a double. And Wilmer Defoe, a 2 for 4 night, and he's on for the 3rd time.
Yeah, making something happen, just like the guy stepping in the box right now, Pedro Severino. Looks like he got a 2-1 cutter, slider down and in, turns and burns. So a 1-out double for Wilmer past the drawn in Ryan Flaherty. And now Pedro Severino has a chance to put this thing out of slam range.
Pedro 1 for 3 tonight, base hit to center last time. Runner going. Throw to third on target. And Wilmer Depot is out at third for the second out.
Not a bad gamble, up by 4. You're trying to get to third with 1 out. Scoring a sac fly, but I think he was out. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was 100% out.
In fact, his hand ended up caressing the glove that tagged him out.
It's a good gamble. Play aggressive when you're up.
1-1 to Severino now. If it gets that far, Howie Kendrick on deck. And that ball driven to left. Right at Tucker. We are going top 9. Sammy Solis about to get the call with the Nats on top by 4.
Between Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg. It was fun to watch again tonight. Total domination by 2 right-handers, 2 of the best right-handers in baseball. 8 innings, just 3 hits, 8 strikeouts for Steven, 2 walks. He threw 103 pitches, 64 for strikes. It was no yeah baby moments like with Doug Fister, but I love that Dave Martinez talked to his right-hander, got his opinion on things, and asked him if he had 1 more in him, and he did. That was good stuff.
So here's Sammy, who has been on the mound for the final out of 23 games in his big league career. Non-save situation. He takes on Ozzie Albies, who's 1 for 2 with a strikeout against him. And the heater in there. Sammy had a good night here Sunday. Couple of scoreless innings against the Mets in relief in a tight ball game. 31 pitches, 21 strikes. Gave up just a hit.
Yeah, fastball averaging 94.6 miles an hour for Sammy this year. Curveball, changeup. Fastball 62% of the time.
Albies right-handed this year. Pretty good, 6 for 11. 1 o'clock game tomorrow. A.J. Cole and Brandon McCarthy. Nats trying to win the series right here. 2-2. And of course, Nats Extra, 12:30. To the right side, perfectly placed. Albies aboard in front of Freddie Freeman. And he goes hustling into second. I tell you, this kid, FP talked about him rounding the bag in game 1. He just kept on going and buys himself a double right there.
Yeah, one thing we love about this kid is he plays hard and just kind of taps one through. Wilmer diving for it. And Bryce kind of trotting for it, caught him sleeping, and a hustle double down by 4 for Ozzie Albies. Maybe that wakes up his dugout. Although it's hard to say they were sleeping against the stuff Steven had tonight.
Yeah. Freddie Freeman to center, ball staying up, and Michael A. Taylor has it. Fantastic play. Then he went rolling around and held on for a big first out.
Yeah, that might have been knuckling. Tough read. Low line drive for Michael A. Taylor. And then a weird landing. Let's see the landing in slow motion. He got up slow and he's still kind of wincing out there. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, he felt something. Was his knee, right knee maybe, sticking in the ground?
There's Markakis. 3 for 7 career against Sammy. And the curveball smothered by Severino. Way upstairs, 3-0.
That's all Sammy has to do right now, up by 4, is attack. And he'll finish this game. If not, Ryan Madsen's ready, and the phone is blinking out there for somebody else.
Yeah. Ryan Madsen, 87 career saves. And a few with the Nats last year. Hmm. 2 on, 1 out.
I don't think the phone was necessarily blinking for someone else. They just want to know if Ryan's ready. And
yeah, it's a safe situation right now. So Madsen's going to get the call here. Ryan Madsen for the 17 Nationals had 1 save, 87 career.
For your 4th drive of the game. We're going to rewind the tape all the way to the first inning. Rewind, rewind, whatever. A triple off the bat of Ryan Zimmerman. Ender and Ciarte couldn't get to it. Bryce Harper scored. How many first inning runs now? 18?
Yes, sir.
I believe 18 first inning runs for your Washington Nationals. Heard your local Ford dealers for great savings on cars, trucks, and subs, otherwise known as SUVs.
Ryan Madson, 6th appearance. First man up, the left-hander, with a little bit of pop. That's Preston Tucker, 0 for 2 career against him. Wait a minute. A right-hander for a left-handed batter? Kurt Suzuki. How about that?
Well, he already announced them, I believe.
That would make sense. And this one, it'll be close, but it's a long run. And Ryan just not able to get there. Covered a lot of ground there.
Little smile from Ryan. Good hustle. Hit the wall hard. There's real speed. Caps players are going, he didn't hit the wall hard. What are you talking about, broadcaster boy?
Kurt Suzuki 1 for 4 career against Ryan Madson.
Love a ground ball right here, right now. Yeah, I have Borges as the only extra left for the Braves. They all right-handed extras, so once you announce Kurt Suzuki pinch hit, and it had to be a right-on-right matchup.
Yep, short bench Braves playing with. Out to left. Goodwin tracking it. He has it for the second out.
Nice route, good catch, breathing easier. I thought that ball had at least a gap written all over it. Nice play. That wind down Half Street might have helped on that one a little bit.
Dansby Swanson, first career at bat against Ryan Madson.
Yeah, Dansby's job is to get on like a leadoff here any way he can right now. He's got to get aboard. That's why that 5th run was pretty important. Talk about taking the slam thing out of it.
Chopper to third, foul, 1-1. Yeah, Flaherty is off to a good start, the on-deck hitter. And the 1-1 with 2 outs. Down the line, hooking. Fair ball. Braves on the board for the first time in the series, and they will get the tying run to the plate. Dansby Swanson, 8th RBI. And a 2 for 4 night. First run charged to Sammy Solis.
You know, a lot of people today were asking me, why didn't you put in Doolittle for the 9th last night? And it goes back to that old saying, and you've heard me say it a billion times, anybody else, right? When you have a guy just crushing you all night long, you just want to see anybody else, and it's no knock against their stuff. It's just like all of a sudden, as a dugout, you feel like you got a chance. No need to panic yet, but the Braves are fighting.
And despite their time in the American League, Madsen and Flaherty have never met until right now. Perfect to the outer half. So it takes the Braves 17 2/3 innings to get on the board in this series. And the Nats have some work left here. Two and one.
Well, the ball ain't flying to left, and the wind's picking up down Half Street, so you'd think fastball away here if you're going to challenge him, make him beat you the other way. Yep.
Two pitch. Game over on a cold third strike. And Ryan Flaherty has given it to Brian O'Nora.
Yeah, Ryan thought it was down, and the other Ryan thought it was a strike. So one Ryan was right, one Ryan was wrong. And Brian, the umpire, was the only one that mattered. So Ryan to Ryan, and Brian with called third. Did Pedro pick it up nicely? He did. So the frame got the call. And a nice job by Ryan Madsen putting out a little situation here at the ballpark. And how about the two big right-handers? Back-to-back nights against the Braves.
Yeah, you didn't want that one to slip away the way Steven pitched tonight. So Max and Strauss brilliant on consecutive nights. The Nats win a series for the first time at home. Big hit first inning by Ryan Zimmerman. He's with Dan.
Thank you very much, Bob. Ryan, let's start with your starting pitcher tonight. Steven Strasburg was fantastic. 8 scoreless innings. What impressed you the most from your angle over at first base about the way he was attacking?
Yeah, a lot of first pitch strikes going right after the guys. Max last night and him tonight. It's a good way to get back on track.
You had that triple there in your first at-bat. You were taking a look over your shoulder as you were making your way towards third base. Did you feel like you had a little more left in the tank? Were you hoping for one more left turn?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what you always hope for. But I got my one triple out of the way, so from now on, doubles and home runs.
You looked towards the heavens after you got towards third base. You put your arms out up in the air, a big smile on your face. You've hit some balls hard, but not really gotten the results. Was that kind of that reaction?
Yeah, and Ender almost caught that one as well. So just got to keep going, keep having good at-bats. Been hitting the ball pretty well. It's early, but just got to keep grinding. But good 2 wins after losing a few in a row right there.
We talk every year about this time about, how you kind of get into the flow of a season. You're not typically a fast starter for the most part. What's been your focus as you've tried to lock it in and get some of those hits to fall?
Just keep going. I think it's a long season. You're going to have weeks where you don't play particularly well, and when you have those weeks at the beginning of the season, everyone asks you questions about it. But you just got to keep going. The main point is to win games, and we did that the last 2 nights.
Congratulations, Ryan. The Nationals take the first 2 of this series against the Braves. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow here at Nationals Park.